Yorinobu is a good guy. Yes, I still stand by this statement, but what I am enjoying is the comments we are getting on this video. Some are saying, does this mean Jackie, V, Dexter, Evelyn, are they the bad guys? In my opinion, yes. And today we're going to discuss why all of the above are idiots from my point of view. What is going on, Edge Runners? Today we're going to be discussing why I think Jackie, V, Evelyn, Dexter Deshawn are absolute idiots, especially when it comes to the planning of the gig, the heist. The reason for this video is kind of twofold. First, I'm enjoying, like I mentioned, the comments that we are getting because some people have mentioned, this is Evelyn's fault. Some people have said, does this mean that V and Jackie, or our characters, are we the bad guys? And that is one part of it. The other part is I have thought about this for so long. Why would Jackie and V trust Dexter Deshawn with a gig that pertains to Aristaka? My thinking is simple, and here are the facts. Dexter Deshawn was away for like 2 years. Now, I can't find the exact dialogue, but there's two reasons why a fixer would be gone from Night City for 2 years. Number one, he's enjoying his spoils. He's made a lot of money and he's out there spending his moolah. Number two, he's running away from a failed gig. Now, let's explain both parts here. If he's running away from a failed gig, that should be a red flag. You should already be going, why are we trusting this dum-dum? Now, if it's not that, and he was away, spending his money gloriously and living in such a way where he was like a king, if that was the case, he was gone for some time, and you're gonna trust him to plan a gig against Aristaka? Now, some of you may be going like, well, why does it matter? Isn't planning a gig against Militech, Kang Tao, Petrochem like the same thing? It should be the same kind of quote unquote difficulty. And that's where I say you are mistaken. And the reason I say this is sometime between like 50 to about present time, which is 2077, Aristaka begins to bribe local politicians. And that's why we have Lucius Rhyne conversing with Aristaka agents discussing the re-election. Because Aristaka, for quite some time now, has been pumping the city with money. Essentially, after Aristaka got kicked out, 50-ish years, they found their way back in by bribing and paying these politicians to have a massive foothold within Night City. What I am trying to say here is Aristaka technically owns Night City. Now, these aren't facts that are known to us in the beginning. These aren't facts that are like plastered in our face and told to us that, hey, why would we mess with Aristaka? They own all of Night City. That is not stated. This is something that I found while I was reading the source books, and I'm just putting pieces together. So there's one big point I want to talk about. Does this mean the creative team completely forgot about this? This could have been a lapse of judgment, because I think had somebody just said, wait, guys, this is dumb. Why would we trust Dexter Deshawn with a gig against the corpo that pretty much runs the city? And I feel that somewhere along the lines, on the back end, when it comes to the creative writing team or whatever they're called, I'm not even sure what they're called. I think that miscommunication happened because, of course, CDPR wanted to, have their own take on the cyberpunk world or genre, because again, guys, don't forget that Cyberpunk 2077 is technically a sequel to the TTRPG version of the game, which is Cyberpunk Red and Cyberpunk 2020. So there was already a world created and they wanted to make their own stamp. And I think this was where the mistake happened. They tried to create their own story, and in hindsight, it looks like it slapped them right in the face, because upon further analysis, we can actually see that this Dexter Deshawn dude is a pretty dumb character. All right, so sweet. we've now discussed a little bit about Dexter Deshawn. The final nail in this coffin against Dexter Deshawn, in my opinion, is the fact that we know there is the queen of the afterlife. Rogue Amandiares is the best fixer in all of Night City. Not only that, people know, or at least there are rumors of her having been part of the op that was the nuking of the Aristaka towers. Yet we did not go to her? This is a massive question mark. And it just confuses me as to why Jackie and V decided, hey, let's go trust Dexter Deshawn instead of the queen of the afterlife. Yes, she may have taken a bigger cut, but Jackie would be alive. And I think, that is a fair trade. Now let's talk a little bit about Miss Evelyn Parker. She honestly, in my opinion, is one of those characters that they created that they want you to like. And then all of a sudden, they want you to feel bad for her, especially when she gets hacked and she kind of goes into that sad, depressed state. And inevitably, she does take her own life. So that is no joke, of course. But the fact that they created this character, wanted you to like her, and then feel bad for her, I think just completely Uno reverse on their faces. And I think this only happened because now we've been playing the game and we can dissect this further. And when players now look at this, we can now again analyze and understand that she was pretty stupid for biting off more than she could chew. Her mission was simple. Get the shard. That's it. The Voodoo Boys asked her to do just that. Nothing else, no scheming, no plotting, yada yada. But here she is deciding that all of a sudden she wants the money for herself. And that's when things go completely awry. We can actually say that, her, the client, picking Dexter was already the wrong move. And what I actually wanted to happen, if you guys recall, she does say, like, after you speak to Judy real quick, she says, maybe let's just cut Dexter out of this and you and I take the cut, yada, yada. I thought at that moment it was going to be like, oh, maybe we get to pick a certain fixer that helps us. Maybe we get to pick a better fixer. Maybe we have an option to, you know what I mean? Like, just have a little bit more versatility with the fact that, we have this choice. But nothing happens. Even if you select the dialogue where you're like, yeah, let's snake Dexter Deshawn, nothing comes of it. And that is rather disappointing to me. But anyways, I digress. Evelyn Parker, to me, made the worst call by picking this fixer who was on vacation or just ran away for 2 years. Why not ally yourself with the person who is most familiar with the megacorp you're about to steal from? And again, that is Rogue Amandiares. Sure, people can tell me all they want. Maybe she wanted to be low profile about this. And that's, again, just dumbfounding to me because you are going against the corpo that owns all of Night City. Yet you think you're going to make this a little tiny, quiet little heist and get away with it. That is, I think, the lapse of judgment with her character and maybe an oversight with the writing team once again. Now, ultimately, all of this comes down to V and Jackie saying yes to the gig. I know we don't have a choice. It's not like this is a side quest. This is part of the game. This is something that we have to do in order for the story to progress. I didn't realize that after completing the prologue, there was like that montage video. And then at the very end of it, it says 6 months later. Now, if you're trying to become a legend in Night City and you haven't figured out who is the best fixer to trust and where to go for certain information, you're just not gonna make it. And rightfully so. Jackie, with wrong information and trusting the wrong fixer, ends up losing his life. And that's on him. Not only is it V and Jackie's fault for deciding to trust a dumb fixer, they actually end up messing with Yorinobu's plan to take down Aristaka. That's a big slap to the face. And that disappoints me in terms of them trying to be a legend. And again, if if I was to write this whole story over again, or like that, the heist gig, it would have gone something like this. An option between low risk fixer, Rogue, versus high risk fixer, Dexter Deshawn, the idiot. All right, I'm gonna stop calling him an idiot now. But here, this is what I thought was going to happen. But because of that dialogue where Evelyn was like, yeah, let's just, do this behind his back or whatever, I thought we would have some sort of option like that where, yeah, fine. You get the high risk dude. You get less intel. You get, the possibility of like losing your partner, which is Jackie. And now, but the reward is you get like high street cred, right? Like we can't deny that after V did kind of accomplish this gig, she or he gets street cred, right? Like people know her or him for having gone against Aristaka. So there is street cred attached to it. But I thought if you had the option to have the low risk, which is going with Rogue, yeah, sure, you get less money. And maybe, yeah, fine, you get less street cred. But then your chumba is alive and well and walking with you down the street. I didn't think that, Jackie would be like, flatlined ASAP. I thought it was going to be like a Vesemir thing where as the story progressed, depending on your decisions, he was going to, sacrifice himself or die. So that's what I was thinking, but no, none of that happened. So if I was to write the story all over again, I would have given that alternative option of having picked Rogue as the fixer. In that plot line, just real quick, it would have been as simple as this. Rogue getting you a Militech AV, or it doesn't even have to be Militech, just an AV. Because if you guys remember in the heist gig, once you've gotten the relic, you can actually go up, right? You could go up to the rooftop. And yeah, fine, you gotta kill a couple of guards, and you have Saburo's AV, which you can hack. But if you had your own AV, you'd be good. And fine. Let's say, oh my God, they have turrets, they have rockets, too much suspicion. Guys, if they just had a parachute, okay? A parachute. Just jump off the building, okay? Into the water. You get that James Bond speedboat coming to pick you up, and you're out of there. GG's, friends. And that's exactly, like a very simple way to go about this. You have Jackie who's alive. You get some good street cred. Sure, you don't get a lot of money, but now you've accomplished the mission. And the story can go on normally. Like, you could still meet the Voodoo Boys. You could still talk to, you could still want to steal Hellman because now you need more information, whatever. You could still do all of that. And all you needed was a parachute. All right, guys, that is it for me in this video. I know it was a little bit aggressive and yeah, it's just been something that's been sitting in the back of my mind. And yes, I am very heavily caffeinated right now. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. I love you, Edge Runners. Thank you for all your support. I will see you in the next one. Bye.